Hello everyone and welcome to this latest episode of Book Time with Elvis, and I'm back with more classics I have to read. I'm sure you're not getting sick of these videos. But in this volume I'm looking at classics I feel I have to read but also want to read, and there are a couple of rereads on this list because it's been so long ago, or actually perhaps not reread is the wrong word, because some of them I'd started years ago and actually didn't finish. Today they come from India and the Far East, and what I mean really by that is India, China and Japan. Please, as usual, if you think I've left anything off the list, mention it in the comments below. It could be I've left it off that I've already read it, but it might be that it's just not on my radar. So take a punt and leave your comment and your suggestion down below. So the first three books come from India. The first one that's on my list is the Ramayana, which I don't really know very much about. I know much more about the classics from China and Japan than I do about the ones from India. The Ramayana is one that I've been meaning to read for a while, and would very much like to get to that. So there we go. Next up, we have the Bhagavad Gita, which again I feel is probably an essential of Indian classic literature. And again, I don't know too much about it, but having read up on it, it does look like something that I feel I have to include. And I've seen, for example, Jack at the Rambling Raconteur, I think either mention it or read it in a video which I can't link to because it's so long ago in my memories, but I hope I've got that right anyway. Next up we have the Upanishads, is it? Upanishads, which also seems to be a staple of Indian literature and something that I need to read. Do you agree? Okay, next up, the next four come from China, and I know a bit more about them. We have the Water Margin, or Outlaws of the Marsh. This has been recommended to me many years ago, actually, while I was in China, and I never got round to reading it. The same isn't the case for the next book, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms by Luo Guanzhong. I had started that. I had a nice, I have half of a 2-volume set. A nice one. I need to track down the second volume. I don't know whether to read it in its entirety like that or go for the Penguin Classics version, which I think is abridged, but it's still very long. And of course that follows the epic story of the warring states or three kingdoms in China for supremacy, following the likes of Liu Bei and Guan Yu and these people. So yeah, I would very much look forward to that. I did read volume 1, never got around to volume 2, so but I don't mind starting it again because I don't remember too much. I actually came into contact with the Three Kingdoms, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, years ago after watching a fantastic film. I believe it was John Woo who directed it, but it's a huge sweeping epic employing both Chinese and Japanese actors, called Red Cliff, and it was actually released in 2 films in Asia. I'm not sure if they were released in Europe in 2 films, following the epic battle for the place called Red Cliff. But it was fantastic, great music, great action sequences, really a fantastic film. Next up we have another book that's got 2 titles at least. We have Dream of Red Chamber, or The Story of the Stone by Cao Xueqin. Again, it was also recommended to me at the same time as the person who also recommended the Outlaws of the Marsh, or the Water Margin. And I haven't read that yet either, so I need to. Our final Chinese offering is Journey to the West by Wu Cheng'en, and I have that actually, and I have the edition in the picture that you're going to see. Though I'm not sure if it's complete, or again if it's abridged. It might well be. So yeah, but of course that follows the story of monkey and the journey to the west, so that would be great fun. And then we move on to Japan, and the three here are, you'll notice the Tale of Genji is not present, but that's because I've read it a couple of times, and although I'm not above rereading it, of course I want to read some other things, although the first one here is a reread, and that's the Tale of the Heike, which is really fascinating and interesting story of the one of the earlier Civil War warring states period in Japan, and following the family or clan that were ending up being called the Heike, which were in opposition to the Genji. So there you go. Which I believe the Tale of Genji. Yeah, and it's confusing because Tale of Genji and then there's the Genji and the Heike. So yeah, there you go. And I'll read, if I can get my parents, talk my parents into bringing it, if they can find it. I hope they've still got it. The Helen Craig McCulloch translation, which I think is really good. So yeah, that would be fun. And next up we have the Kojiki, or Records of Ancient Matters, which again is another big book and really looks into pretty much what it says there, the record of ancient matters of ancient Japan. So that would be fascinating. Again, I have it somewhere, I think. So I might, again, be able to talk my parents into bringing the Japanese ones, at least, which I have at home, as well as my copy of The Tale of Genji, because, I probably do want to read it at some point. So it's going to be quite a heavy suitcase if I can talk them into bringing this stuff. But luckily, hopefully, they won't actually have to carry it very far. And then finally we have the Nihongi, which again is relevant to the ancient past, or deep ancient past of Japan. If my memory serves me correctly, it is also another big, thick book. So at least the edition I've got. I think all of these editions I've got, with the exception of the Heike, so both, just the last two then I suppose in this case, are by Tuttle, as is my version or volume of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Tuttle Classics pretty good if you want any kind of East Asian books, so yeah, I can very much recommend them. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, please do leave any of your own suggestions down below. I look forward to reading them. Do take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye bye.